Welcome to our channel. Today we will talk about the woman from the poverty-stricken alleys of Colombia to the luxurious palaces. She rose to become the spiritual mother of Pablo Escobar, who learned mafia tactics from her in the streets of Medellín. With her criminal genius, she invented complex networks to smuggle cocaine from Colombia to the heart of America and the world. She was the first billionaire criminal with a fortune exceeding $2 billion. She was known by many titles, including the Cocaine Godmother, Queen of Death Smuggling, and the Black Widow. Griselda Blanco Restrepo was born on February 15, 1943, in the city of Santa Marta, Colombia. Her father, Fernando Blanco, was a farmer, and her mother, Ana Lucia Restrepo, was a housewife. She was the only child in her family, and her father abandoned them when she was an infant. Griselda grew up in a poor and violent neighborhood, surrounded by thieves, drug traffickers, and corrupt police. She witnessed crimes every day, and her childhood was marked by hunger, pain, and violence. During this time, Colombia was going through a period known as La Violencia, which began after the assassination of the famous politician Jorge Eliezer Gaitan. As a child, Griselda understood that power meant survival, and she vowed to hold on to it like a precious treasure. At the age of 10, she moved with her mother to southern Medellín, fleeing the violence that had destroyed their country. However, she soon found herself immersed in crime again. At the age of 15, Griselda committed her first crime, participating in the kidnapping of a child from a wealthy family. She stole a gun from a neighbor's house and killed the child with a heart devoid of mercy. She left school before completing elementary education and decided to become a professional thief. As she grew older, Griselda's crimes escalated from small thefts to organized crime. She began to build her criminal empire, driven by a passion for wealth and a dream of gaining power. During this period, no one expected that this young woman would one day become the queen of one of the most dangerous drug cartels in the world. Griselda's first steps in organized crime began in 1960 when she met Carlos, marking the beginning of her rise to becoming one of the most notorious figures in the world of crime. A rapid romantic relationship developed between them, culminating in marriage. This duo began building their secret project, aiming to dominate the marijuana market in Medellín. Their business flourished, and their names became notorious, striking fear into the hearts of the police. Anyone who stood in their way would meet a deadly fate, paving the way for Griselda's future reign based on terror and control. However, their marriage abruptly ended when Griselda discovered Trujillo's infidelity. Consumed by anger and betrayal, she shot and killed him instantly. This event hardened her heart, transforming her life from wife to widow. In 1964, Griselda entered the United States illegally, using forged documents, and settled in Queens, New York. She began building her empire in the drug trade, soon meeting Alberto Bravo. They married, had 3 children, and formed a powerful partnership. Griselda's marriage to Alberto was driven by ambition, as he had connections with the Medellín cartel and smuggled cocaine into the U.S. As the disco era emerged in the U.S., Griselda and Alberto capitalized on the growing demand for cocaine in nightclubs. They formed an unstoppable duo, with Griselda masterminding the distribution network. They controlled 70% of the U.S. cocaine trade, earning them immense wealth and power. Their empire expanded rapidly, but their marriage began to fray due to jealousy and infidelity. When Alberto sought to divorce Griselda, she refused, leading to a fierce competition between them. In 1975, Griselda's patience wore thin, and in a fit of rage, she shot and killed Alberto. The news of Alberto's death spread quickly, and Griselda's reputation as a ruthless and cunning cocaine queenpin solidified. She became known as the Black Widow, a name that would haunt her for the rest of her life. With Alberto's demise, Griselda's empire continued to grow, and she became the sole ruler of her cocaine kingdom. Griselda's influence extended from Colombia to the U.S., and she began personally overseeing cocaine smuggling operations. She imposed her control over the Medellín cartel, turning it into a powerful tool at her disposal. Her empire expanded, and her profits soared, earning her an estimated $850 million. In 1978, Griselda gave birth to her fourth child, naming him Michael Corleone, inspired by the iconic character from The Godfather. As her wealth reached $1 billion, one day she turned the streets of Miami into a battlefield between her gang and rivals, transforming the city's face from a tourist destination to a hub for cocaine trafficking and trade. In July 1979, Griselda's gang carried out one of the most infamous attacks in U.S. history, storming a liquor store in the Dadeland Mall. The gunmen opened fire, killing everyone present, including customers and employees. Among the victims was Griselda's personal bodyguard, the father of her fourth child, who was the primary target of the massacre due to his betrayal. In a separate incident in 1982, the Black Widow ordered the killing of her partner, Jesus Castro, in revenge for allegedly mistreating one of her children. However, the hitman mistakenly killed Castro's 2-year-old son, Johnny. Griselda's reign within the Medellín cartel was marked by internal power struggles and bloody rivalries. One of her most notable confrontations was with Pablo Escobar and the Ochoa brothers, who opposed her leadership style and sought to dominate the cartel. The conflict escalated, with Escobar forming an alliance with the Ochoa brothers to counter Griselda's influence. While the gang war raged on, Griselda's empire continued to grow in power and wealth. According to reports, she smuggled over 3 tons of cocaine annually into the United States, generating profits of approximately $80 million per month. She carried out her criminal activities in front of her children, who were silent witnesses to her violent world. In 1983, Blanco married for the 3rd time to one of her close associates, Darwish Yula. However, their marriage was short-lived. After just a few months, in a fit of rage, Griselda shot and killed her 3rd husband in her Colombian home, in front of her 5-year-old son, Michael Corleone. The U.S. authorities closely monitored the Godmother's movements, but lacked sufficient evidence to arrest her, despite suspecting her involvement in at least 40 murders across the United States. Her intelligence and cunning allowed her to evade justice for years. However, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, began planning to capture her, working with undercover informants to build a comprehensive case against her. In 1984, with threats from her enemies escalating, the Black Widow fled to California, seeking a safe haven. A special task force from the DEA raided her luxurious residence in Irvine, California, and arrested her after years of pursuit. During her imprisonment, authorities attempted to add new charges, including linking her to over 200 murders in Miami street wars and cocaine trafficking from Colombia to the U.S. However, her wealth and influence allowed her to manipulate the judicial system, and she was eventually acquitted due to lack of evidence. Blanco's legal troubles continued, and in 1988, she faced new charges related to drug trafficking as part of a broader crackdown on the Medellín cartel. Despite some acquittals, the stream of accusations persisted. In 1994, she was arrested again after a former partner, George Ayala, agreed to cooperate with authorities and testify against her. His testimony included horrific details, accusing Blanco of involvement in 3 murders, including the death of a 2-year-old child during a failed assassination attempt. Based on Ayala's testimony, the prosecutor requested the death penalty for Blanco. However, just a week later, shocking information surfaced about illegal dealings between the key witness and the prosecutor in Florida, leading to Blanco's release from prison. Despite this, her troubles continued, With murder charges and cocaine trafficking allegations still looming over her, Griselda's empire expanded unprecedentedly, with estimated profits reaching approximately $1.9 billion in 1997. With escalating threats from her competitors and repeated attempts to assassinate her, she found herself forced to seek a safe haven, away from the eyes of her enemies, to reorganize her life. For this reason, the Black Widow decided to turn herself in to the police, confessing to committing 3 second-degree murders. In 1998, the court sentenced her to 20 years in prison. During her imprisonment, Blanco began cooperating with law enforcement, providing valuable information that aided investigations. This cooperation was part of a legal deal that contributed to reducing her sentence. However, her health gradually deteriorated, leading to her release in 2004. After her release, she was deported to Colombia, her home country, where she decided to live a relatively quiet life, away from the spotlight and the noise of the criminal world. Despite her notorious criminal record and recognition as one of the most powerful women in the history of drug trafficking, she chose isolation and secrecy, avoiding any media appearances or public attention. On September 3, 2012, 69-year-old Griselda Blanco was shot and killed by a hitman on a motorcycle in a manner eerily similar to the methods she had employed during her reign as a drug lord. Her body was placed in a beautiful coffin, adorned with white flowers, and she was buried in Jardín de Sacro Cemetery in Colombia, the same cemetery where her rival Pablo Escobar lay. Despite her bloody reputation, Blanco was also known for her charitable work, such as distributing gifts to poor children on their birthdays and providing financial support to impoverished families in her community. This earned her love and respect among the people, who affectionately called her Mother of the Poor. Regarding her personal life, her jealousy was a recurring theme that led her to kill her loved ones. She murdered her 3 husbands and her 4th lover, who worked as her personal bodyguard. Her most famous husband was Alberto Bravo, who helped her build her criminal empire in drug trafficking. However, their relationship deteriorated, and he was eventually killed. Griselda's legacy includes a vast fortune, estimated at around $2 billion, making her one of the most successful drug traffickers in history. Her most famous son is Michael Corleone Blanco, who gained widespread fame through his appearances on television and social media. After her death, Michael founded a luxury clothing brand called Puro Blanco in honor of his mother. During her lifetime, Griselda amassed a fortune estimated at around $2 billion, making her one of the most successful drug traffickers in history. She owned properties worth approximately $500 million, which she was able to acquire thanks to her enormous profits from cocaine trafficking, earning her around $80 million per month. Griselda Blanco's life story has had a significant impact on many prominent figures around the world, including filmmakers, authors, and artists. This has led to the production of documentaries and dramas that showcase her rise and fall. Her character has appeared in several notable works, including the Spanish series La Viuda Negra in 2014 and the TV film Cocaine Godmother in 2018. In addition to her impact on cinema and television, Griselda Blanco has left a lasting mark on contemporary music, particularly in the rap scene. In 2010, American rapper Jackie released a song titled La Madrina about Griselda Blanco. Westside Gunn also named his record label Griselda Records in 2012. Other artists have referenced her in various songs, demonstrating the enduring legacy of Griselda Blanco in popular culture. Through these diverse works, we continue to see Griselda's impact, and the more we delve into the details of her complex life, the more we realize that she lived a life filled with tragedy, betrayal, and violence. The pursuit of misguided ambitions can lead to destruction, no matter how appealing the path may seem at first. Behind the facade of power lies a dark side that is often unseen. This was Beyond True with you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for more real and thrilling stories.